All right, all right. Here we go.
Here we go. Hello, Jeff. How are you?
I'm very good, Bill. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. And everyone out there watching, welcome to the Bitcoin Brodie and Crypto Cadets cryptocurrency for beginners. Everything from Bitcoin to whatever ends up with a
Cryptocurrency.
ZZX, whatever, some
Yeah,
new token with a Z's in there. Welcome to the show, and we're going to have fun with it again. We have great conversations. They sometimes take a bit of a tangent, but they are still definitely relatable to investing in Bitcoin or any kind of cryptocurrency. And we like to take it a little bit differently, go a little deeper, and touch on things like your emotions, your intentions, your motives, and see if we can, talk about things you may not even consider when you want to, get rich.
absolutely. I want to mention, so if you're joining us live on Facebook, if you swing on over to the StreamYard website, that's streamyard.com/Facebook, you have to grant permissions on the StreamYard so that we can actually see and interact with your comments here in StreamYard. Now, also, if you're watching us live on YouTube, you can interact with us in the comments live from YouTube. Be sure to click on the like button and the subscribe and the notification bell so that you know that we're there. And do us a favor and share it out with your friends. Right?
Definitely.
So Bill and I are having a great time having a conversation, and we're really grateful to have you join us here today. And we're doing this to share our knowledge, share our experience. We're not professional traders, nor is this to be garnered as investment advice. It's edutainment, educational entertainment.
Exactly.
And the emotions of investing. It's really interesting. Doesn't matter how much money it is. It could be quarters at the fair when you're playing like crowns and anchors, or it could be toothpicks and you're playing cribbage. There's emotion that comes along with this when you have some type of a bet down, right? And I love that statement that says when emotions are high, intelligence is low, right? And let's talk a little bit about the emotions of investing, whether it's fear of missing out, or how you feel about a trade that you made or you missed. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. Well, what I wanted to start out by saying is 2 months ago, I would not have predicted that, number one, I would have connected with you, Jeff, and that we would then also be doing videos and some other projects that we have coming up down the future. I had no idea. And the beautiful thing about it is I like to always have an open heart and open mind and kind of let life sort of move me to wherever it's going. And, these wonderful surprises take place. I was just thinking of doing some investing in Bitcoin, see what I could do with that and figure it out. And I found Crypto Canada Facebook group, and that's where I found you. And it just is a really excellent experience. You become a good friend and confidant confidant with the investing, and I've learned so much. So speaking to the emotion of investing, there's, as a newbie, I'm only 2 months in, there is the emotion of the excitement of the potential of what you're stepping into, and just that futuristic pile of wealth that is going to be coming into your life if you are willing to be patient and hold on. That's kind of my viewpoint. But then when I drilled down to my day to day, I had the experience over the last couple of days with a coin that you had mentioned to me about, and we discussed it back and forth, and that got my FOMO going. It enacted it, or it engaged my FOMO. Should we kind of talk about what that coin was just briefly?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah. So we're looking at a project called Enecuum, ENECUUM, trading under the symbol ENQ. It's a low cap coin. With low cap coins come high risk, right? With high risk, there's also the other side of that sword, is that there could be a high return probability. One of the really cool things about the Anycoom project is they have the Anycoom token, and they have their network. And what it is, they use what they call a trilogy of protocols. So they have a trinity. They call it a trinity. So that they have proof of activity, a mobile app for mining. Right. So there's an application you can, right now you can install it on your Android phone, and it's available in the App Store. And you would need to purchase a minimum of, I think it's 25 or 100.
It's 25
ENQ tokens so that you can mine on your Android app. It's extremely energy efficient and low power draw, and it doesn't really seem to affect my phone at all. And then you have a proof of stake capability, so where someone could run a server and a node and do proof of stake, and there's also proof of work. So there's the three different protocols in the trinity of the Anycoom environment. Right now they have 21 active proof of stake nodes, and I'd have to pull up the map to take a look at the number of active nodes on the for the proof of activity that there are around the world. It's growing rather quickly. So when a friend of mine first found this, he said it was somewhere around 3 cents.
Yeah.
And by the time I looked at it the following day, it had doubled in price. Right. And that was last Friday.
Yes.
And so we figured out and, got it set up, and I had it running on my phone. And then Bill and I were talking, and I said, "Oh, there's a cool thing. You've got an Android phone, that there's this proof of activity you can do, and we can get you going on that." And so this is the group that I'm part of for cryptocurrency questions and answers, is a Facebook group, and this is an international Facebook group. It's a really tightly controlled Facebook group, so there's very few members in it right now, and we it's quite a bit smaller than Crypto Canada, which focuses on the Canadian market, although everyone is welcome to join. So Crypto Canada Facebook group, if you're looking for a Canadian content based cryptocurrency group where you've got really great friendly people, then hop on over to the that Facebook group. And also the cryptocurrency questions and answers is another great cryptocurrency Facebook group to be a member of.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
Bill and I were talking last night about, Bill's like, okay, where do we find ENQ? And I said, well, it's available on KuCoin. And as a exchange, and KuCoin's an international exchange. It's based out of Hong Kong, and it's been around for a very long time. And it is a very notable exchange, very reliable, and it works very well. They have a really good assortment of tokens, and they're managing about $2 billion worth of assets and transactions a day. So it's remarkable. A massive amount of transactions that are going on. So, let's talk a little bit about your experience of, you set up a KuCoin account, right?
Well, yeah. So what happened is, when I heard about it from you, it was right around 6 cents, high five, $5.95, 6 cents. And it's like, okay, well, I purchased it through KuCoin. Well, there were a couple others, but KuCoin, because that's what you use. I thought, okay, that makes the most sense. That way, when we're talking about it, we're looking at the same exchange, and you can walk me through any issues I might have, which I did. So it was at 6. I'm watching it, and it went up to 7, and kind of came back down 2 days ago. And I got set up with KuCoin and was struggling with getting the authentication done, because there's a dynamic phrase that you have to have written down with the date and your signature with a selfie, and that didn't show up. And I'm thinking, well, did I miss something? What's going on? So while I was dealing with that, I was talking with Jeff, saying, okay, how do I buy the ENQ? well, you need to have BTC USDT to buy it. And so, okay, so I had to move some BTC into that wallet to sell it, and then go through that whole process. And as I'm going through that process, it's starting to climb. It's up to 8 cents, it's up to 9 cents. And there wasn't anything I could do about it except just watch it, knowing that I couldn't really get active because I wasn't authenticated yet, completely authenticated.
Yeah.
And so I thought, well, it'll probably come back down. This was last night when I went to bed. I woke up this morning to have a look, and it's up 11 and a quarter cents or something like that. And I'm just like, whoa, blew me right out of the water. I'm thinking, dang it, did I just miss it? Did I just miss my opportunity? Was this it? And I'm thinking, oh, that really sucks, because there was nothing I could do. I was able to sell the BTC. I bought the USDT in order to buy the ANQ. So it's sitting there ready to go. But yeah, just that feeling that I had, that feeling of the FOMO, like, oh, I just missed out. This is an opportunity. It jumped so much, and I could have, made some profit there, some nice gains, and I lost it. And then there's that feeling of, oh, it's not going to happen again. That's it. Was the voice that was speaking to my head. But then I had to, did some breathing and said to myself, not only will this probably retrace and then it'll go back up just because of the type of coin it is and the network, but there will be other coins out there. So just be patient and trust your gut, and, believe in what you're doing, ask Jeff some questions and have a conversation with him. And so Jeff has been just so valuable in that way. But it's interesting because even when you go in saying, I'm going to keep my emotions in check, I'm going to keep my emotions in check, something like that happens, it's hard to keep your emotions in check because you want to do something. And in my case, I couldn't do anything. My hands were tied. So there could be a good reason for that. So that was my experience. And it's good to go through those experiences because the more you do, the more seasoned a trader you become, and you begin to understand yourself. Not only that, but not only the investing aspect of what we're doing with Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, but you're actually learning about yourself. And that's what I love about this too, is if you're open to it, you will begin to see who you are. You will get, like I said, you begin to know who you are. And that's really important in life in general. So that was my experience over the last 2 days. So
yeah, it's amazing. You may miss one run.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you haven't missed out on the market, because the thing to understand is today we're so early in this altcoin season, right? What is altcoin season? Well,
Yeah.
altcoin season is that when Bitcoin and Ethereum, that are the two top dog cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin with $1 trillion market cap and Ethereum with $250 billion market cap.
Mm-hmm.
So Ethereum is technically an altcoin because Bitcoin is the coin and everything else is an alternate coin. So Ethereum is that. So when those big dogs start moving sideways, right, people start looking for ways to make higher returns on their investment.
Yeah.
So they start looking to low capitalization coins.
Yeah.
Right. So they look at other coins that are maybe $1 billion or less.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you start looking at the really tiny cap coins, they get extremely risky. And as quickly as they could go up, they could just crash and burn and go away.
Yeah.
So, the Enicum is an extremely low cap coin, but they have a very active social media. Their websites update. They've got a developer team. So they have a lot of things on the go that makes it seem like a very legitimate project. But it doesn't mean that it won't go away. So that's the risk reward. How much money can you put in? It comes down to how much money can we afford to lose. So what's going to happen is it's going to peak up. Today it hit like over 14 cents, almost 15 cents. Yeah. So we think about that from a week ago. That's a 4 times, right? So it's gone up 400%. So when it goes up 400%, you get the feeling that it's going to the moon. But we got to remember that it's stairs, not a ladder.
Yeah.
Right? So what does that mean? It's going to go up. It's going to go. You're going to have this flattening, and it really goes down. How far it will go down is going to depend on, basically the movement and whether the people who got in. So what happens is the people who got in at 3 cents or 2 cents or whatever it was, when it goes up to 15 cents, they got their 4 or 5 times return. They sell off.
Yeah.
Maybe they move to another project.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what'll cause the drop. So when people are taking their profits, then it's your opportunity to get in on the project. So this will happen, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because it goes back to that earlier conversation we had, Bill. What is your strategy for getting into this token, into this project? Yeah. And you say, I'll say, how much money would you like to make off of this? If you put $100 in, how much return do you want in that?
Yeah.
Right. So would it be, do you want a 4 times or a 5 times return? What would you like to see on your money in a project like this?
Oh, like that. My reserve would be 3 times. My goal would be 5.
Okay. So basically, you've set out a strategy, a plan here that says you'd like to make 3 to 5 times your return on this. Now, here's a really cool thing. You could actually, if you have the tokens on the exchange, you could actually set a limit order to sell a percentage of your tokens at a price immediately. You buy it. So you buy the tokens at 6 cents and you set a sell price. I want to sell 20% of my tokens when it 3 times. So from 6 cents to 18 cents. So when it hits 18 cents, I want to sell 20% of I want to 20% of what I'm holding. And you could set a second order that says when it hits 5 times, I just want to sell 80%.
Yeah.
Right. And by that time, you've cashed all your money out and you've got the 20% is pretty much what your original investment was. And you could afford to hold that indefinitely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Because now you've taken your profit. So when we talk about, that'll take the emotions out of selling. It could still go up 30, 40, 50 times. We don't know. It could go down to 0. We don't know. But, so this helps you take the emotions out of that.
Yeah.
The key is, stick to your plan, work the plan. And I loved it when, Carl from the Moon, who's got a channel, he does leverage trading and he does technical analysis. And he says, when it comes to investing, you have to act like a robot. You have to set your plan and follow the plan. Don't let your emotions cloud your judgment. Easier said than done, because, as interesting as the other day, there was a project called Blockstacks, and Blockstacks, STX is actually it'll bring smart contracts to the Bitcoin network. And it's basically a layer 2 solution so that it utilizes the Bitcoin security model and does all of the transactions on the Blockstack network. And so that's how they implement the smart contracts, and they have scaling, and they can do, tens of thousands of transactions, millions of transactions per second. So it gives when we bring smart contracts, decentralized applications to Bitcoin, then it brings, what everybody is trying to get out of. That's why the success of Ethereum, and we're waiting, the big thing with Cardano is Cardano doesn't have smart contracts yet. We're seeing smart contracts being added into the Binance Smart Chain. So there's a whole lot of these smart contracts that are be adding in. So Blockstacks, and it's like, it was brought to my attention, and it's like, I'm busy. I had a little bit of my daytime job work to do. Yeah. So I'm dealing with some email and some follow-up phone calls. And then I look, and Blockstacks has jumped 40%. So I go and put a position on it, figuring, okay, it's going to run.
Yeah.
So it does go up, goes up another 25%, and then it starts dropping.
Yeah.
right? And I'm sitting here, oh boy, I just FOMO'd into a project. So then it dropped 30%. So I took another position. I'm dollar cost averaging now.
Yeah.
And then it took another correction.
No.
I watched it correct that day 3 or 4 times. It went from, I think it was trading at $2.70, and it bottomed out around $1.30, pretty much back to where it started, and to which I took a larger position in it. And today it's back up around $1.90. But it's interesting because I wasn't making rational decisions. I didn't have a plan. I just wanted a position.
Yeah.
And I didn't put a big amount of money in it at any time. So I make a little bit more flippant decisions. Let's just hope they turn out. Because the other night I bought Binance BNB, the Binance coin.
Yeah.
And it was trading. It had gone up to $404, and then it dropped under 400. So I had my reserve of USDT sitting there, doing nothing. And it's like, when you're in stable coin and it's doing nothing, you're going, well, I'm not making any money. But the flip side of that is you're not losing any money.
That's very true. Yeah.
So I flipped it over to BNB. And we had that little correction recently. That little correction that dropped the markets anywhere from 10 to 20%, depending on which project you were in. Yep. So my BNB dropped from, down to $360, and it's recovered again. Yeah. But I wanted to use that money to get into something like ENQ, right? Yeah. So I took a small loss. I think I had 6 BNB, so there was about a $300 loss on that, which is fine. But these things, as you were talking about, they're great reminders for us to, not beat ourselves up over, but to learn from our habits, from our actions, from our reactions. What are we doing? Yeah. The greatest thing that can happen is that I do all of these, I sit there and I got diamond hands. I'm hodling. Well, that's great. You pick a project, it goes up 6 times. Well, you're hodling, it drops back down 4 times. Right? And you're sitting there going, wow, maybe I should have took a little bit of profit somewhere. It's the, I think the diamond hands play well in Bitcoin. Yeah. And these larger coins that are, that are stores of value. And, but when it comes to these altcoins, I think we really need to be in a position to take profit. So maybe, my thinking is like, if I'm thinking of putting $100 into a project, I might put $200 in, and I may earmark that $100 to sell at that point, so that I can pull out and not feel like I've taken out all my investment. Yeah,
that's good. That's a good idea. The one thing I was going to mention to what you're speaking of is the more educated and the more you understand, the less emotional you will be. So if you're a newbie like myself and you're doing everything off of emotion and you haven't done too much research, or you're not, hopefully you've joined a group so you can ask some of these questions. But if you're not and you're just kind of winging it, you will be making a lot more mistakes than you need to. Because as you do increase your knowledge and understanding of what all this is about, you'll be able to make better decisions, better plans, have better boundaries in place, and you won't, FOMO as much. You won't sell too soon or buy too late, or buy too soon and sell too late, right? So, that's pretty important.
Yeah, it's interesting because emotions get investors to buy high and sell low, right? Yeah. And it's that the market has a rhythm, right? It's very, you could say it's musical, it's, it has a rhythm, right? It kind of has that waved to it. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes sideways, it goes sideways, it goes up, it goes sideways, it goes down, it goes down.
Yeah.
And, when we look at these, when we zoom out and we look at Bitcoin, for instance, Bitcoin is just like on pretty much parabolic. If you look at the 10 years that Bitcoin has been in existence, 12 years since 2009, did correct my math there, is that you look at 2020 and 2021, from the fall, it looks like Bitcoin has just gone vertical, parabolic. Right?
Oh, yeah.
But crazy. When you zoom in, you do a 90-day zoom in, or you do a 30-day zoom in, or you do a minute-by-minute zoom in. This is where you get into the peaks and valleys and the candles and wicks and all of these things going on. And what happens is that we get so detailed in our analysis and tracking things that we forget the big picture, the zoom out. Mm-hmm. So we can get really hung up in our emotions when we're looking at, oh my God, did you see the size of that red candle? Mm-hmm. Right? That sell. Did you see that sell signal? Yeah, but when you back out and you look at it instead of looking at it in increments of 1 hour, you look at it in 1 day increments, and you still see you're way up in the green. And then you go and you look at it in the the daily, the weekly, the monthly. Mm-hmm. You can see like it gives you a really good view. Now, taking different views of the trading patterns are really helpful, because when we're in the micro, we can't see the big patterns that are forming.
No.
But when we go into the macro, we can start seeing patterns like the Elliott wave, or the W, or the head and shoulders, or the teacup, right? Mm-hmm. So when we go out, so these are, whether they're bearish or bullish patterns, right? So bearish being, is the market going to drop, the prediction, or bullish, is the market going to climb? So we're able to start looking at these. So when we, if we don't understand what technical analysis, Investopedia has a really great information on it. Binance has really good tutorials. Mm-hmm. You can go on to YouTube and you can just look at trading candles or chart analysis, and there's all kinds of information available. And as Bill was saying, the more you become educated and the more we understand, the trend is our friend.
Yeah.
Right. I know, like, to be honest with you, I traded stocks and I didn't have a clue what I was doing over a decade ago. Mm-hmm. And, I called it the School of Hard Knocks. I spent about $10,000 on my education. I had a hell of a lot of fun. I had a bunch of stocks at the end. They were all in the TSX. In the US, they'd be called pinks, over the counters. And in Canada, we call them OTC, right? So they're over the count. So they're higher risk. So I had thousands of shares of companies that went bankrupt. So the good thing is I didn't really look at my investing account for a decade. And it just so happened that one of the little biotech stocks that I had grew to offset all of that loss. And then I also got the loss to offset my gains that I'm making in cryptocurrency. So it all comes out good, right? Someone had asked the question the other day. It's like, well, if I diamond hand and the market goes way up and I buy more and I dollar cost average, and then it drops way down, and the statement is hold on to those crypto, don't sell it, but you don't actually get to realize the loss until you sell the crypto. Mm-hmm. So what you do is, like what companies do, is they sell off the stocks that they have a negative position in at the end of the year. And then they wait. A few days later, they buy back in. So this is why, like, for instance, for those of us who are in the fiscal year, we pay taxes annually. So we're filing as a individual, we have to file taxes in April. Mm-hmm. And if you're a corporation, you get to choose when you file taxes. Yeah. So that's why you see the stock market dip in the end of December and climb in the beginning of January, is because people are re-entering. They're cleaning up their positions to take their losses, and they're buying back in to take their new position for the new tax year.
Yeah.
So the thing is, if you have a crypto or you have a stock position where you've had a massive loss, the only way you realize that is by executing the sell.
Mm-hmm.
The only way you ever make money in crypto or any other trading is you have to sell, right?
That's right. Yeah.
You could listen to a lot of people that talked about the 2017, 2018 bull run who were crypto millionaires on paper. That when that steep edge drop came, they just watched all their value go away.
Yeah.
And this is where having a plan, having a strategy, knowing how to get in, knowing how to get out, take little pieces of profit along the way, so that you're always putting something from this rise. So you learn how to take money in an up market. You learn how to take money in the down market.
Yeah. Great advice. Yeah. Excellent. So I think we can move on to our next subject.
Yeah, we can definitely. So, what's interesting is we talk about cybersecurity and we talk about protecting our crypto, right?
Yeah.
One of the most, first off is making sure that the platform that you're on, so whether you're on an Android device or an iOS device, whether you're on a Windows device or a Mac device or even a Linux device, you want to make sure that the version of OS that you're running is supported, and that you're applying all of the security updates, and you're running something to protect you against the latest cybersecurity threats, and ransomware, phishing, these types of things, so that you have some protection. That said, an individual was trying to connect to the Binance Smart Chain. So Binance Smart Chain is different than Binance.com or Binance.us. It's a mainnet network that Binance released. It's not a fully decentralized network. In fact, it's a centralized network. It's run by Binance. So what they've done is they put out their network, and they've created a platform for smart contracts on the Binance Smart Chain. So now people need to get connected to that. So if you're a US user, you can't connect your Binance US account to it. So you need to use MetaMask, which is a browser plugin for Chrome. And there's also apps for the iOS and for Android.
Yeah.
So when you connect your MetaMask to the Binance Smart Chain, there's guides to do this. You have to configure a new network, and you have to put in parameters, and all that's available on the Binance website. So you can search how to enable MetaMask on Binance Smart Chain. So I get a message from a fellow last night who's a fellow member in the Crypto Canada. He had some questions early on about mining, and I was saying, I don't think it's necessarily good to start out mining with the GPU prices being double or triple what they were retailing at. So we had a long discussion about that. So we DM back and forth occasionally. So he reaches out to me and says, well, I'm trying to set this up. He says, is it normal that the Binance Smart Chain would ask me to enter my seed key? My seed phrase. And I said, nah, it doesn't sound right. And I went onto the Binance site and I pulled out that MetaMask tutorial and I said, did you follow this? He goes, yeah. I said, okay. I said, I use the Binance wallet because I'm a Binance.com user. I said, but my son uses MetaMask because he's not a Binance user.
Right.
So I went and popped over and asked my son, and he said, no, I didn't have to do that. And I said, yeah, this doesn't sound right. I said, that sounds like, because you go to these websites, whatever .finance website on the Binance Smart Chain, and there's plugins that try and connect to your wallet. So he figures he got onto a phishing site.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So phishing, or phishing, whatever you'd like to call it, PHISHING, phishing, is a method that the bad guys the threat actors, the nefarious individuals, they try to steal your information. They try to get your seed keys. They try to phrases, your passwords, whatever they can get to do that. So that was happening to him. So finally he figured that out, and so he got his Binance Smart Chain connected to his MetaMask, and that's what I call a near-death experience.
Yeah, right? I would say so.
Because had he actually entered his passphrase, his recovery phrase, the thieves would have had access to everything in his wallet. Right?
That's scary.
And I know this user has a hardware wallet, so he wouldn't have everything in there, but because, and then he was saying to me, well, it's asking me to transfer a minimum of 1 ETH. And I'm going, yeah, no, that's not right. Not on the Binance Smart Chain. On the Binance Smart Chain, you don't need ETH, right? You may need ETH to get there, right? But once you're there, you use the BNB to fund your transactions, and the transactions are pennies.
Yeah.
Like I did some yield farming on Binance Smart Chain, and every time I harvested my yield from the farm, it was pennies for the transactions. Yeah. Now, for those of you that have used Uniswap or transferred some ETH, during these I wouldn't even call these peak trading times, and it's like 10, 20, 30, 40, $50. And maybe you're only moving $100. It's like, wow. Right. So there's the lure of these other networks, right? It was like, Bill and I were talking. I said, if you're going to transfer, if you're on a platform that supports USDT, see if you can use the Tron network, TRX, to move your tether, right? USDT. And then it would cost, it's less than $1, almost free to transfer your money. So it's interesting. And if that's not available, then just move BTC, because Bitcoin is still cheaper to transmit than Ethereum.
Yeah.
So
that story just made me think that he was able to circumvent that and give up 1 ETH or give up his seed phrase. But just imagine some of the people that were going in more naively and did give what they were requesting. Like, I'm sure that there were people that didn't know any better and did that, thinking that was the right thing to do.
Well, absolutely.
They trusted where they were on.
And that's. Go ahead. No, I'm listening.
Oh, yeah. So there again, emotion and knowledge, play a big part. The great thing is you were there to support him, and that's again, being a part of a supportive cryptocurrency group is really, I think, really important. You're not, don't have to be alone, and you can ask questions and connect with people, and that's pretty vital, is having that trusted support, which we have in those groups.
Yeah. And along that lines, what I'm going to do is suggest this is I don't pay attention to a lot of the messages that come into my inbox. I just don't have the time. If you do drop a message like this into the Crypto Canada site or cryptocurrency questions and answers, I will answer it there. And the reason I'll spend time to answer it there is because it's going to benefit everyone in the group. Right? So it comes back to that rising tide lifts all ships. So if you have a problem, and we're not talking specific details about your account, it may be embarrassing, but hey, it gets really embarrassing if you lose $1,000
or 600,000 because
or $600,000. Yes.
Yeah. That's so valuable, and what you're bringing is so amazing, and research you do and the posts that you do, and I've read some of your responses to other people, and newbies, we need guys like you. And that's why I'm excited about what we're doing, because we're bringing that to everybody.
Yeah, it's really cool, and I'm looking forward to our pet project for we're talking about doing an ebook and talking about the motions of investing.
Yeah, that's going to be really good.
Yeah, so it's fun, and so if there's things you don't know, or there's something that you feel trepidatious about, hop into the Facebook group and ask the question there.
Yeah.
Myself or one of the other veterans, or even Bill now, having done this for 2 months, like with the experience that you're gaining, we'll be able to share the experience with you and help guide you along the way. And that's kind of the whole purpose of this. And that's, the purpose that we decided to do these Bitcoin basics, Bitcoin Brodie and the Crypto Cadets, is just to keep it real simple. This isn't, we don't want to go too deep, although I have a habit of doing that.
No.
So I try
it's good though. It's good to hear it.
Yeah, thank you. It's exciting. I'm very passionate about this, and I'm passionate about seeing everybody be successful.
Yeah. I feel the same way. I'm totally with you there. Totally. And so we've kind of exhausted that a little bit. And was there any breaking news? Anything that
so the breaking news, and this has been going around, there's been a little bit of fear, uncertainty, and doubt going on. And this has to do with the cryptocurrency exchanges in Canada. We talked about this a couple of episodes ago. And the Security Association across Canada has gotten together, and they've put out a requirement. In 2019, 2020, there was a requirement for the cryptocurrency trading platforms, cryptocurrency exchanges to have to be registered with FinTrack. And then now they brought about the requirement to be a member of IROC, and it's getting a little bit more into the investing because, and I was reading the document that was launched by, let me open this up here. It's IROC, the Investment Industry Registration Regulatory Organization of Canada, and OCRCVM. It's the French version of that. IROC notice, it was March 29th, 2021. And so the Canadian Securities Administrators, CSA, and the Investment Industry Regulators Organization of Canada, IROC, and together with the CSA are publishing the notice to provide guidance on how security legislation applies to platforms, crypto asset trading platforms, CATPs, and crypto trading platforms, CTPs, that facilitate or propose to facilitate the trading of crypto assets that are securities, security tokens, or instruments or contracts involving crypto assets. So basically by April 19th, they're looking for the Canadian crypto exchanges to join and become a member and be approved by IROC. So that is different than FinTrack. Now, as I was reading through the documentation, they were talking about what's the difference of, it depends on whether the exchange has custody of the crypto assets or whether they're helping with the exchange. And then there's also those smart contracts where you can start and leverage trading. So if you're dealing with an exchange that doesn't have any leverage trading and they don't have the custody of your tokens and you're just trading, if you read the document, there is a PDF available on the iroc.ca, and if you just Google IROC 2021 and crypto trading platforms, you'll find the PDF, and it's a 64-page document. It's a lot to read.
Yeah.
But it does give you an idea of what's going on. And the big thing is to remove the fear, uncertainty, and doubt. What does it mean to the future of my trading platform? And that the idea of this this rule, that has come about, is to protect investors against shady trading platforms. There's one of the admins on one of the groups that I'm in who had said that he had worked as a contractor for one of the exchanges that did a rug pull and walked away with $17 million of investors' assets.
Yeah.
Right. So it's to prevent the flight by night exchanges from setting up and disappearing. So that's, that's something to be aware of. So that's what this is, April 19th. So check with your trading platform and see where they are in getting certified and becoming a member of IROC. Also that, I read a document in the Globe and Mail saying that Wealth Simple, is that what it is? Wealth Simple?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Was the only trading platform. Well, Wealth Simple is not really a crypto trading platform because they hold custody of your tokens, and that's it. You can never take those off. So they are a securities company. They do stocks as well as crypto.
Yeah.
So they would need to, adhere to that. It's not that they've done something that the other crypto trading exchange, platforms haven't done. It's just that in order for them to be doing what they're doing, they had to comply with it for their stock side anyways.
Yeah. I started with Wealthsimple initially before I found out about ShakePay and Crypto.com. And it was not what I was looking for, because once I realized that you could only import, fund your account with fiat and then export it as fiat, you couldn't actually hold your own Bitcoin or token. You would never have access to it because you'd never actually have it. That's not what I was looking for.
Right.
So.
Yeah. And as it comes back to what we said, with great freedom comes great responsibility. And it's making certain that if we're going to hold our tokens, that we want to make sure that we have a good hardware wallet, that we have that we're using multi-factor authentication, and we have, we're implementing all the layers of security that the exchange provide us to protect our information, to protect not only our information, but to protect our wealth.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. That was, we went on a little bit long there, but, really great topics.
Yeah.
Really great information, and the thing is that, you're learning tons.
Oh,
I'm learning. I've been in this industry, for a while now, and I'm learning so much.
Yeah.
And, the interesting comment from the fellow who almost got fished out of his seed phrase, he was saying, I'm getting inundated with information. I'm learning all this stuff at, rapid, never stop pace. And I don't know what's real and what's not real.
Yeah.
Right. And so, if in doubt, tread on the side of being cautious.
Yeah. And only take on what you can handle. Like right now I have ShakePay, Crypto.com, and now KuCoin. And I think that's probably right at where I'm at now is probably the most I could handle without being overwhelmed and then frustrated and then emotional. So that's, and then I guess then the Anakim masternode. So just know what you can handle and just stick to that, and don't overwhelm yourself, because tomorrow there'll be new opportunities. Next month there'll be other opportunities. Next year. So, this isn't over. This is just beginning.
Yeah, definitely just the beginning.
Yeah.
So, as always, Bill, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, pleasure.
Having this conversation, and we're joining each other again on Saturday evening.
Yep.
For our next edition of Bitcoin Brodie and the Crypto Cadets.
Yes, awesome.
All right, so you all have yourselves a great morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are. Please feel free to drop a comment with your questions. Let us know what you're thinking, and please feel free to share it out, like the video on YouTube, subscribe. So we really appreciate your support, and we want to know how we can serve you better with great information.
Yeah,
all right.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.